Now, from the nation's capital, here's the Pentagon Channel's ATS in brief.
The Senate Wednesday voted overwhelmingly to confirm Robert Gates as the next Secretary of Defense.
On this vote, on the confirmation of Robert M. Gates of Texas to be Secretary of Defense, the ayes are 95, the nays are 2, and the nomination is confirmed.
We need to work together to develop a strategy that does not leave Iraq in chaos and that protects our long-term interests in and hopes for the region.
White House spokesmen say Robert Gates is scheduled to be sworn in December 18th. So what's next for the man who will leave his post at the Pentagon? Defense officials say current Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld will retain his position at the Pentagon until Mr. Gates steps in. Friday, Secretary Rumsfeld will host a town hall meeting at the Pentagon where he will address Pentagon employees. A farewell parade for Secretary Rumsfeld is scheduled for next week. And all next week, as part of a special series, the Pentagon Channel will take a look back at Secretary Rumsfeld's achievements and finer moments at the Pentagon. On Sunday, December 7th, 1941, the Imperial Japanese Navy struck Oahu's military installations. The Pearl Harbor attack 65 years ago crippled the U.S. military in the Pacific and plunged the United States into World War II. Historian Steve Diamond says the objective of the attack on Pearl Harbor and surrounding bases was to cripple the U.S. fleet anchored at Pearl Harbor.
They wanted air superiority early on, and in fact, the sequence of their attack was based on air superiority. So they first hit Wheeler Field, which was the home of the Hawaiian Air Force's fighter command. That's where all the P-36s and P-40s were stationed.
When we think about the events of 65 years ago, we may concentrate just on the attack at Pearl Harbor. But the attack also destroyed Army and Marine assets on Hawaii. Ralph Barnett was a 24-year-old Chief Master Sergeant at Hickam Field that morning.
And I saw everybody, troops just running across the runway. And I looked up and I saw a formation of Jap bombers coming in from the sea.
He ran to this hangar where he handed out small arms and ammunition. He's in Hawaii this week, showing his family where he was and where the Japanese bullet holes are still a reminder of December 7th. Raymond Stone was one of 80 men living in a tent city at Bellows Field during the attack. He remembers 2 waves of strafing runs that killed men and destroyed planes on the ground.
Really waiting for the invasion, because why would they do that without having enough force to come in? Of course, that's not much of a landing area out there either, as the sub determined.
The invasion never came, but 65 years later, Stone came back to see Bellows Field and remember Pearl Harbor. You can see more on remembrances of Pearl Harbor on Around the Services at PentagonChannel.mil.
Around the Services, weekdays on the Pentagon Channel.
The Canadian Chief of Defense visited the Landstuhl Regional Medical Center in Germany this week to present some awards on behalf of his government. General Rick Hillier also wanted to thank American service members for their support.
We recognize the unit, we recognize the people in it for what they do as their professional duty. But what we also wanted to do today was just say that face, that compassion that's shown is often outside of the realms of duty, if you will.
General Hillier also presented the Canadian Forces Medallion for Distinguished Service to Landstuhl Fisher House. He recognized their support for Canadian families visiting wounded loved ones in Germany. The U.S. Marines are taking the Marine Corps Martial Arts program on the road to train fellow Marines and other services in hand-to-hand combat. The program began in 2001 at Quantico, Virginia, and trains Marines in unarmed combat, edged weapons, weapons of opportunity, and rifle and bayonet techniques. Marine instructor trainers travel the world helping and teaching service members of all branches about mental strength, character, and physical training.
We educate them on, the art of war. We do martial culture studies, studying previous cultures who succeeded in battle. We also talk about doing the right thing at the right time, and begin to the character aspects of being a Marine and a warrior.
All active duty Marines are required to achieve a tan belt, which includes nearly 28 hours of instruction in 49 killing techniques to be used on enemies who are too close to stop with bullets or grenades.
To find out how you can watch the Pentagon Channel where you live, contact Dish Network.
PSP share prices for Thursday, December 7th opened at $11.67 for the G Fund, $11.21 for the F Fund, $15.61 for the C Fund, $18.99 for the S Fund, and $21.78 for the I Fund. For the Pentagon Channel, I'm Army Sergeant Lee McMahon.